What do men want from women?
There's only 3 things that we value.
I feel like that's just a different level of disrespect.
Absolutely.
What if she can't cook?
Freak in the sheets.
There was value in the old school relationships.
If the money get low, you ain't gonna go.
Loyalty does not mean being his drug carrier. What's up, y'all? My name is Nicole.
What's up? It's your boy, A to the L to the A to the N, and welcome to the House of Love podcast.
House of Love is a relationship podcast where real talk meets real solutions.
Each episode, we tackle the tough conversations about dating, relationships, marriage, conflict, intimacy, and trust, all with the mission to inspire more healthy relationships and fewer broken homes.
This podcast dives deep into love, connection, and everything in between. So whether you are single, committed, or somewhere in the middle, House of Love offers laughter, wisdom, and all the tools to help love survive, because in the end,
love wins.
So today's episode, we are talking about, what do men want from women? What do men expect from women? We've done a similar episode where we talk about what women want from a man, but let's talk about, what do men want from women?
It's gonna be a short video then, y'all, because there's only 4 things that's at the top of our list: peace, submission, sex, sandwich. Right? So those are the biggest things that we prioritize, right? Because those are the enablers for us to go and conquer the world. Those what makes us feel like we're invincible, right? But there are some other factors as well. So without further ado, let's get started, shall we? Number 1, here's what men value over everything. Shout out to my guy Teddy. Truth and experience wins in the end. But number 1 is peace. We prioritize peace. Not that drama on your job, not that drama with your girlfriends or your girlfriends that you think that are your friends, but they really your competition because they're jealous of you. Not that reality TV, love and hip hop type drama. Not that toxicity. We value peace. Hey, can I get you something? Hey, are you doing all right today? Hey, those basic check-ins, we value that. And knowing when he needs his space. When I walk through the door after a long day of work, let me be. Let me decompress, right? I might not want to talk to you. I might not want to answer your question about how my day was. Give me some time to myself. That is a unwritten love language that us men have. Peace.
Okay, peace is understandable. I want peace. I know they say some women don't, but I want peace. But I think it's important for men to communicate what brings you peace and make sure that that woman understands that, because different men could have different things that bring them peace. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So if we don't know, we don't know.
Facts. That's facts. That's facts. And I think that that's important. If you don't know, to understand as you're entering into a committed relationship or a serious dating ship with that said man, understanding what those things he needs in order for him to feel and be successful, right? So kind of going down the list, when we talk about sex, sandwich, and submission and silence, those are some of the things that he look for. Like, when I come in the house, is it going to be rah-rah? Or, if y'all are married, do you have the kind of kids at bay where I can kind of have time to decompress? Whether it's going to my man cave, or whether it's going outside to sit on the back porch and drink a beer, or whether it's, to go outside and wash the car. Whatever brings me peace, allow me the space to do so without anything wrong. You okay?
But I think that specific thing that you're talking about when it comes to peace is when you're say you're married, right? And it's a different level of how y'all vibe together and the things that she's going to be more concerned about. Like if you come in the house and you're a little bit off, those wives are going to be like, what's wrong? And they may want to, even though you may not want to talk, they're concerned about their husband. They want to know what's going on with you. But if it's just a situationship, right? If it's just somebody that you're just kicking it with or just doing the do with, they may bring you more peace because they don't care as much. So they're not going to be like, oh, what's wrong? No, it's just like, oh, okay, go ahead. So it just depends on you guys have to understand that we're not trying to cause you chaos. especially if this is a marriage situation, we're trying to see how we can help.
Right, and I think you said a good point. You're not trying to cause chaos, but sometimes in that chaos it can cause confusion. And one of the things about God is He's not going to send you anything that's going to be confusing, right? So I think when we go about selecting a permanent partner, a permanent mate, a wife, those are the things that we look for. Even though in my silence, I may not be communicating. I'm not ready to communicate yet. But I guarantee you, 10 times out of 10, we're going to tell you after we had that decompression period. So when we walk through the door, let us be. Give us our time to ourselves, right? And once we engage in conversation with you, don't take offense to it, right? Don't be in your emotions like, dang, you came in,
now you want to talk.
Right. You came in, you didn't hug me for the last 14 days. Today you ain't hugged me. What's wrong? Just give us some time. And then when he approach you, when he circle back, oh, now you want to talk? Don't give us the attitude, right? Because I think that shuts us down even further. So that's important, the piece, right? Going to the next thing, on the sandwich piece, right? Food. Make sure we have something to eat. We don't ask for 5-star meals. You don't need to slave over a hot stove. The food could come in the form of you cooking it, a sandwich. You made some tuna, some salmon croquettes, and some rice. I'm a country boy, y'all. So
salmon cakes.
So salmon cakes, as you call it. And making sure even if you DoorDash, Uber Eats, or pick up something on your way home, that's important. Because I've been in situations where I'm just like, I can't function or ask your 21 questions, until I have something to eat. So you can treat the witness as hostile, Your Honor, because I'm not talking until I get something to eat.
And I think most women know, because most women, even the Gen Zers or whoever, the ones who are like 18, 19, 20 now, we all have heard the way to a man's heart is through his stomach, right? So we know you want to try to be all cutesy and prepare a meal and stuff like that, but some women, I feel like, they do it for the aesthetic, right? Oh, I'm going to prepare, like maybe they want to record it or they want to just like do it for the moment, but they don't want to do it long term. Like, I'm not slaving over a hot stove. So it's just like...
But it's a matter of mindset, right? If you think about it, it's not slaving, right? There are certain responsibilities, gender roles that you have those expectations within your relationship based on how you communicate those.
But that also shows you somebody's character, because for me... If I like care for you, my man, my husband, my child, whatever, I want to take care of you. I want to make sure you're satisfied with like your meal. So I don't have a problem with it. So I cook. But some females are like, no, I just got my nails done, I'm not cooking. Or, it's they don't care enough to be like, oh, my man needs to eat, I want him to be fed. They're just like worried about themselves. So I think that just speaks to the personality.
Yeah, and ladies, as much as the man, spends to go out or take you on a nice restaurant date, cook for that man. We appreciate it a lot more than you taking us to a 5-star restaurant. Even though it's a good thought, and even though we enjoy it for our birthday or whatever special occasion, cooking is a way to our
Question.
Heart. Yes.
What if she can't cook and the meals she prepares they don't taste good? Then what? You still
that's great. That's great. That's a great conversation. So if you can't cook, do you have a cookbook? Have you learned? There's air fryer recipes, there are baking recipes, there are Crockpot recipes. I think we appreciate the effort, because if there's something that you learn how to do over time, you're going to perfect it. It's not as long as you can read, you can cook. As long as you got mobile hands.
Not really. It's so many ways to mess up in the kitchen.
True, but it's the effort that counts, right?
But I agree. So when you learn, the more you do it, the better you.
Right, and it may be a situation based on what you just because you brought up a good point. The man may be the stronger cook, right? But maybe the lady is good with picking up sides on her way home from work, right? But that's the dynamic of the relationship where two becomes one, and I think that's the most important piece. There are going to be things that the person may not be as advanced in or may not be able to do, but being able to source it or being resourceful, going that extra mile shows effort and appreciation. And that leads to my next point. We want to be acknowledged. We want to be appreciated. We want appreciation from our women. Regardless of how hard we work and we don't get the appreciation on our job, regardless how hard we work and being a parent, whether the kids are in the household or not, we don't get the appreciation for being a parent. No matter how much we go above and beyond for people, we may not get that appreciation as a friend. but we want to be appreciated by our lady. Appreciation is the ultimate sign of respect, and that'll be the next topic, the next point, respect. But appreciation comes in many forms: a thoughtful note, a small card, a gift card.
A small card.
Yeah, a small
Somebody
card.
can get you a greeting card with a messaging, and that's
Handwritten messaging, yeah, and that's appreciation. Like, hey, I see you working hard. I'm acknowledging that fact that you were working hard, and I appreciate it.
fellas. Let me know in the comment section. Let us know, is a card something that you would appreciate? Because yes, while I know some men will just be like, oh, this is a you thought of me, so
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I don't care what it is, you thought of me, whatever. But some men, like, they'll toss that card, they won't even read it, like, so it just depends, like, on who you're dealing with and what.
So, but that's the thing. See, you going with the ladies version. It depends. It doesn't depend.
It does.
I'm giving you the playbook. It may not be the greeting card. It may not be the message in the card. It may be a $10 gift card to Starbucks, or a $10 gift card to a place where he can get lunch during his lunch break at work. It can be any type of card. I'm just saying, from a level of appreciation, we want to be acknowledged for what we go out and try to do, and let's try to conquer the world. At the end of the day, we got to make sure that we provide provision and protection for the household. We got to make sure that if an intruder come in, that we step up and be the man. We got to do our best to be in a situation where everybody's happy and comfortable. We got to do our best to upgrade our current lifestyle, and that may take 2-3 jobs to do so. And if that man is working his tail off and working 60-70 hours a week, and he can't even come home to a sandwich or a hot pocket, something is wrong. We have seriously lost the appreciation factor for our men that go out and attempt to conquer the world.
Yeah, no, and I think I understand that. I do. I mean, you can always play devil's advocate to what you're saying, but at the end of the day, if there was value in the old school relationships, the generations before us who were married 40-50 years, there is value. I'm not going to say their relationships were perfect, but there were certain levels of respect, submission, all the things that you're mentioning that men want. There's a history of that working. Again, not perfect relationships, but working and lasting. So yeah. I think those are important.
Absolutely. And I think our next kind of lead in is respect, right? Shout out to Otis Redding, Respect. He had the first version before Aretha. But respect goes a long way. We want you to ensure that no matter what we do, that there's still a level of decorum and a level of respect that's granted to that man for what he may have made a mistake in, but he was able to overcome that mistake. Don't tear him down. Don't beat him up.
Don't beat him up like Sha'Carri. Okay, and then when you do it, then not only because they're in the public eye, but that's still in a public place. So if you're going to even attempt to be disrespectful, don't do it in public in front of other people. I feel like that's just a different level of disrespect.
Absolutely. And I think, we're real big on keeping internal issues in-house, and let's deal with them in-house. Don't sweat the small stuff. You have to remember the things that you get mad over or that you're emotionally invested into, they might not matter tomorrow. They might not matter in the long run. And we have to remember the realistic point of view that men usually perish quicker than women. Right? So if women are lasting longer, regardless of if the man is living a dangerous lifestyle or he does stuff on the wild side or he's not taking care of his health as he should be, regardless of the fact, the time that we do have on earth, we want to be appreciated for the things that we've done on the positive side. Not looked at for the negative things and they overshadow all the positive. Because I guarantee you, if you write a list of every relationship that you've been in, what the man has done positively and what he's done negatively that made you cut off the situation or made him cut off the situation, the positives are always going to outweigh the negatives. Always. I don't know. But we don't think about that. We highlight the negative stuff because the negative stuff is what fuels our emotions and fuels our...
The negative stuff makes us feel, and women, we feel. We're emotionally charged. So that's what's going to hold more weight.
Right. And unfortunately, in that holding the weight, maybe it's to an unfair disadvantage. But the reality is it didn't work out, so it wasn't meant to be. So And I think, that goes into the next thing. After the respect and the appreciation, we want loyalty. We want you to be loyal. We want you to be ride or die. Like, if you ain't my ride or die chick, I don't want you. I want to know that when things get tough, you're not gonna bail. If the money get low, you ain't gonna go.
No, that's fine. And coming from a respectable man, that okay, I can get it, I can get with it, I can dig it. But ladies, loyalty does not mean ride or die when it comes to being his drug carrier or being his, like, if it's a situation where he's asking you to do something that's
illegal, unethical, or immoral.
Yes, because a lot of women are in situations like that where a man wants to call out, oh, you ain't loyal, you know what I mean? Like, but this is what you're asking me to do. So I think that's just something to keep in mind, because loyalty, yes, I can be loyal, but to what extent?
Right, that's fair.
So,
and I think, the loyalty piece, and I'm not saying anything of the negative mindset, but on the positive side, being loyal gives us that ammunition to go like, dang, I got a loyal woman. I don't even see another woman, right? Or I'm going out. If I work 2 jobs, I'm finna get 3 because I want my woman to have the best of everything because she's loyal, she got my back, right? And I think that's important when it comes to dating and in relationships, that loyalty aspect for us.
Yeah, loyalty is big for us too. So, loyalty.
Next piece, communication, right? We strongly dislike, I'm gonna take it a step further. We hate when we ask a question of what's wrong and y'all reply, you know what's wrong. Well, we knew we would ask. So communication for us, because we're simple, we need direct communication because of us. A lot of us are direct communicators. So if you don't tell us in that moment what's wrong when we ask, guess what? We're going to move on to the next thing. And then we get, well, I just find it funny that you didn't take the time to understand my feelings or what I needed or what was wrong with me. No, you didn't take the time to communicate. Communicate with us. Fellas, if you're having this issue with communication with your woman, what are some of the ways that you get her to communicate? Comment down below.
Here's the issue. And this is why we have the tough conversations over here, because we both want communication.
Right.
Women want, I know y'all have heard it, we both want communication.
Right.
I think it takes for us to understand each sex's communication style. Because if you don't, we're going to keep being off balance, right? You're going to think I'm not communicating with you. I'm going to think you're not communicating with me because we're not understanding our communication styles. So understand that women are different.
Right.
We don't think the way y'all do.
You made a good point. Future episode, so stay tuned for that. The communication styles in a relationship. That's an important topic. We need a whole, good 30, 45 minutes just to kind of deep dive into the communication styles, because that's important. If you hadn't looked it up, or if you hadn't heard about different communication styles, Google it. It's very important how you communicate and how you understand your partner's level of communication in which they are accustomed or they prefer to receive.
Yeah, because if we can't have the tough conversations about where we went wrong in trying to communicate with each other, it's not going to work. Right?
Absolutely.
So I understand that y'all want communication. Sometimes it's hard for us to communicate our feelings. So if you say, what's wrong? Maybe I don't say, oh, you should know what's wrong. Maybe I just say, I don't know, because I'm shutting down. So I think it's just, again, we'll have a future episode on communication styles, but take the time to learn each person's communication styles when y'all have failure communication, and like, what can y'all do in the future to have better communication?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's a great point. I think leading into our next one, ladies, we want freedom. We want freedom to be ourselves. We want freedom to be men. We want freedom to fall down and get back up. We don't want, that calling situation. Dads are like, if a son falls, you like, get up, you all right. Mama, oh, come here, little baby. Blah, blah, blah. We want freedom to make mistakes without being thrown in our face later, whether it's 2 weeks later or whether it's 2 years later in a future argument. We want the freedom to make mistakes because that's how we learn. You fall down, you get back up. You sink, you swim. For us, it's binary, right? It's only 2 choices. We don't operate in the gray. It's yes or no. It's left or right. It's up or down. It's I can do it. I can't do it. It's I got it. Here you go. I don't have it right now, but I'm working towards it. We are binary. So when we don't have that freedom of expression, freedom of choice, freedom to be ourselves, then that contributes to when we feel like you're emasculating us and not allowing us to be man. Regardless of if you strong, independent, you don't need no man, blah, blah, blah. We don't care about that. We care about you in a relationship with me now. That needs to go. Here's my hard boundary. I need the freedom to go out and conquer the world. I need the freedom to go out and flip this money. I need the freedom to go out and invest without you questioning anything. Now, granted, if I come back with a Ferrari to the house, all right, that was irresponsible, right? I ain't talking to you about it. We didn't discuss it. We didn't go to our financial advisor to see if it made sense, etc. I get it. But for those things that are going to lead to advancing the culture, advancing the family, advancing our position from where it is currently, we should have the freedom to do so.
And that's fine. I think you guys can have the freedom. We can grant you the freedom, but keep in mind that women are more analytical. We think, like you say, we always are asking, well, what's the variables of the situation? Like, well, how did this happen so I can make a decision? So we think a little bit differently. So if we give you the freedom to go out and make the moves for the family, make mistakes if you do, it's important for men to consider, in my opinion, for men to consider our response. Because, okay, you got the freedom. Go ahead, babe. Do what you got to do. I trust you. Whatever. Something fails, right? Maybe your strategy didn't work. Okay, that's fine. Nothing's perfect. But if you continuously make a certain mistake, so if you continuously go out and buy a new car every month and knowing that the family can't afford it, that's when I have a problem. That's when I'm like, well, babe, this didn't work out the last time because XYZ. Like, why are you doing it again?
Right.
So I think y'all have to respect that stance we take if you continue to make the same.
And fellas, if she has to ask that question, best believe you're gonna get the stupid nigga award. She's gonna present it to you. So that's a great thing. And I think, fellas, don't be irresponsible. Freedom is not irresponsibility.
Yeah, don't get carried away.
Right, don't get carried away, right? Anything done in moderation is okay. When you overindulge, that's when it becomes a problem. So that's a great point. I appreciate that perspective. The next thing that fellas want, we want submission. We want you to get on our program. We want you to be able to conform to the things that we need in order for us to be successful. We need you to know that if I'm making moves for the family, that you trust and believe that I'm doing so, and that whatever I ask you to do, I'm asking you to do it for a reason. Some things that we can tell you, some things we can explain to you, other things we just need you to do and execute. So I think that's important. The submission, for us, submission equals femininity. For us, submission equals, here you go, here's an open checkbook, or here you go, here's my card, go get what you want. That level of submission gives us the trust that, dang, not only is she loyal, not only does she have my back, but anything that I'm willing to say or set up for us, she's willing to follow. And that's the ultimate sign of respect. Submission covers everything that we've talked about thus far when it comes to our ladies.
Understood. I don't have anything else to say, but I will say we should do a future episode on submission and what that looks like.
Yeah, and ladies, how much should your submission cost? Well, that's a future episode. How much does submission cost? Some people can't submit to a man, i.e. a Hispanic Mexican population that's making $50,000, $60,000 and he does construction all day. Other women saying, I'm not going to submit to a man unless he make 150 plus. You got other women that say, I won't submit to a man unless he drive this type of car. So, ladies, how much do your submission cost? Be thinking about that. That's for a future upload.
Yeah, do we have anything else?
Yep. And I think the last one, and I think all my fellas can agree with it. Sex. We want you to be a lady in the street and a freak in the sheets. That's what we ultimately love when it comes to a total package in a woman. Can she put it down? Can she hold it down? And after I put it down, can she go and make me something to eat so I can recharge and go again? Because when you're in your 20s and early 30s, you can go give it to her back to back like you want it. When you're late 30s, early 40s, you got to muster up the energy. So in mustering up the energy, that's the communication, that's the submission, that's the trust, that's the loyalty. All those intangible things that doesn't cost you anything, those are the ones that help kind of get us back on track and get us motivated to keep going. When you're in your 20s, you're not thinking about all that stuff. You're just trying to get in and get out. And you're done. More so when you get older, it's about the total package when we look at ladies, right? And I think that's one of the things and some disconnects in our society now in modern day. You got women that have an equal sex drive just as the men, but for us, that's one of the things that we definitely hold near and dear.
Of course.
If she ain't got it, we going somewhere else to get it. If she ain't giving it up, we going somewhere else to get it. If she ain't thinking about doing something sexy to make it seem good and to give us that fantasy fulfillment, and we going somewhere else to get it.
Which is sad. It's actually pretty sad because
Ooh,
it's pretty sad.
Why is it sad?
I'm gonna just say this because
you can't stop a man from being a man.
I'm not. And do you, boo? Whatever works for you is cool. But I'm just saying from a woman's perspective, sometimes, like, that's fine. We know that comes with the territory. I'm not saying it doesn't.
Right.
But in our times, and this is, I'm not gonna say all men, but there are some men where, what if we're sick? What if some women are going through certain health conditions that they weren't always going through? And I'm talking about people who are in a long-term relationship where things used to be super good and spicy, but now she's sick and she's dealing with this and this and that, or she had a baby and, you know, her drive is down and stuff like that. And a lot of times men still step out because they're not getting it. Like you said, that's what y'all want. One of the things that it takes to satisfy y'all. But are you considering the extenuating circumstances that she's going through? Are you going to hold her down in those times where she can't perform like she once did?
But if I hold her down in those situations, granted, that's a great conversation. At what point do you compromise? If you've been in the relationship 10 years, 20 years, and maybe she's not able to fulfill those needs, can there be a deal made where, hey, I'm taking care of you, you sick, I'm not able to do it, here's the rules of engagement, or you select a woman and allow that man to continue to get his needs where it's still in a controlled environment versus him wilding all out and then potentially, you know, bringing a baby home. And then that's going to make the situation worse.
Again, that's why communication is important.
Absolutely, but we grown over here, so let's be real.
Don't just let me be home sick and you just going to outdo it. Let's have a conversation.
Right.
But again, it's understandable if it's a long-term illness that's going on for, you know, years. I think it is worth the conversation. Like, you know, I can't do this for you right now. So.
Fellas, you hear this mindset? Y'all better hit her DM. I'm telling you.
But it's real. It's like, you have to be realistic because, I mean, I can't do it, so I'm obviously not doing it with anybody else. And if you're my husband, it's a conversation. Just don't go doing it behind my back. Okay?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But I think it takes an emotionally mature adult woman to be able to even entertain that conversation.
And this is why we're trying to teach people. This is what we're here for, is to try to teach people how to have a long-term relationship and be able to keep it through all of the tools that we're given.
Yeah, and even like now, we look at the situation with Neo and his 4 girlfriends, right? They came to the table with some type of an agreement. Regardless of the behind-the-scenes story, we don't know all that. But they seem, on the outside, they seem to be happy. Hey, different strokes for different folks. But it has to be communicated. It has to be discussed. And 2 parties have to be grown enough to be willing to have that conversation in the absence of emotion. Like, let's be real. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in addition to them being our freak in the sheets and our lady in the streets, we like them nasty. We talking about black jelly bean nasty. We talking about 10 bottles of baby oil, Diddy, and a Frico charge nasty. That's one of the things that men want when they're selecting their woman. What are your thoughts on that?
I did not expect that, but okay. Okay.
I mean, it's a
so it's all of that behind closed doors.
All that behind closed doors, right? But when you present yourself to the world, you better be First Lady Michelle Obama. You know, we want to make sure that it's a good representation, not only because you're a reflection of us, but a good representation to present to the world, especially if you're going to carry my last name.
And what about if y'all go out to have a good time together? Like y'all go to a party or a strip club. How does she need to act then?
Yeah, I think she can act, you know, somewhat modest, right? But still,
does the black jelly bean come out then, or no?
I think if you go to a strip club, the black jelly bean comes out once we get home, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like the warm up. It's kind of like the appetizer.
It's the foreplay.
Yeah, but we like women that we can have fun with.
Okay.
You know, women that everything ain't got to be uptight or everything doesn't have to be a judgmental moment. We want to make sure that we're getting the full experience. One of the things that I always talk about is when you're in a relationship, have an experience with your partner, right? The things that he like to do, you may not care for, or the things that you like to do, he may not care for. But when you compromise and come together, those things don't even matter, right? You share in each other's interests so that it becomes a different form of intimacy. And then height, we got some that like them tall. Some of us like legs. Some of us like them short. They like them fun size or snack size, if you will. Someone that you can lift up, right? So for some guys, they do have a height preference, and some guys they don't have a height preference. So it just depends on your dynamic. So again, fellas, all of this is some things to consider when choosing when it comes to what men want. But ladies, it's more important for you to understand how you present yourselves gives you a better opportunity to attract what it is that you have in your mind as well, because I'm sure y'all have a list as well, right? So fun size, snack size, tall, short, we like them all.
Okay, I understand that completely. I think women don't always want to acknowledge that, but it's true. What else you got?
Yeah, and I would say one of the other things that we like, a woman with good hygiene. She got to smell good. No detectable smells, no fishy smells, no odor smells. Like, you got to have good hygiene, because that is a testament to how well you take care of yourself, right?
Yeah.
So a more plant-based diet with more fruits, more vegetables, right? You can still enjoy some of the things that you like, but just like with anything, right, you have to do it in moderation, right? Because it does have an effect, especially as you age. It has an effect on your long-term health. So that's important, having good hygiene.
Yeah, and that adds to the femininity too. It's like,
Yeah, and I think, one of the reasons why we kind of do a double take and look back at a woman sometimes is when we get that whiff of that wind when she walks by. Like, ooh, she smells good. And then, that gives us a conversational point.
I thought it was a different whiff. Okay.
Well, that different whiff, that one gets you talked about or snickered about in the group. Like, man, you smell that? But we don't want to go that route. Yeah. We want to be able to smell something similar to Gucci Guilty.
That is one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah. But when we have that good sense, it kind of gets our blood boiling on the inside. Okay. Where it's like, man,
it's attractive.
Yeah. Right. And it's a refreshing, euphoric smell where it's just like, okay, that's a feminine woman, right? And so again, sometimes it's about how you present yourself. You could be a woman that's actively working on yourself, and you may not go out as often, but when you go out, you like to look good, you like to smell good, you like to feel good. You may get some good energy that surrounds you that has the courage and confidence to actually approach you. So Understood. That's.
Look, we appreciate you schooling. I appreciate you schooling us on what men want, because it doesn't make sense for women to assume a lot of times what men want, and they do things or go about things their own way without having a male perspective to really try to achieve their relationship goals that they want.
Yeah, and looking at you, that's one of the things that I want to call out. Ladies, we don't have a problem with the lashes. It's the color lashes. It's the extremely long lashes. It's the lashes so big that you can put on the front of the headlights of a car lashes. We don't like those. Like, stay away from those. The ones that have a classy, more natural look. I didn't even know you had on lashes. Those are the ones that kind of blend in and give you an enhancement, right? It's a difference between when we feel like you're trying to replace something versus enhancing what you already have. And then, when we talk about like the makeup, right? If we, one of the guys said on Pop the Balloon, on our first date, I'm going to take you to a pool and I'm going to dunk your head in the water so all that makeup will wash off so I can see what you really look like. The makeup should be an enhancer.
Your name and age and answer to her question.
I'm Jody. I'm 37. Yeah, and first date, I probably would take you in the jacuzzi and dunk your ass under there and make sure we get all that makeup out there. I want to see what you look like underneath that. Okay. Then I'm going to take you to the Waffle House after that.
Okay. Thank you.
So it shouldn't be caked on and 3-layered up and all that stuff where it's so heavy that you look a completely different person when you wake up.
Like, he don't even recognize you without the makeup.
Right. And I've heard, and fellas, comment below if you've had similar situations. I've heard of plenty of stories. Bro, when I woke up in the morning, I didn't even know who that was. It scared me.
Well, there's the thing, because I had one of my friends, she's still my girl to this day. She's beautiful. But when we used to work together in like nightlife,
I would hear some of the men be like, she's bad, but why she gotta wear all that makeup? And this is the same friend, love her dearly, but would make sure she gets up early before a guy that she's dating so she could be her face again.
Oh, wow.
And it's not that she wasn't pretty, it's just that she wanted that look, you know, and it's all about how you feel on the inside, your insecurities and all those things. But yes, men don't want too much. But y'all like it sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, again,
Y'all go for those girls sometimes.
well, sometimes, again, similar to the
We like it, we don't like it.
similar to the previous episode, exactly. We like it, we don't wife it. House of Love merch
I feel like
coming soon.
I feel like that's your tagline for real.
Yeah.
He sees you dressed out like a thought. He's not going to wife you.
The reality is this: we like it, we don't wife it.
Okay.
But definitely, and I think those are some things to consider. You know, what when it comes to what men, right? So to kind of sum it all up, looking at all those different factors, fellas, which is your priority in order of importance? I didn't go in a particular order, but what is your order of priority? Is it 3? Is it 4? Is it all that were listed? Tell us in the comments below what you expect or what you want from women. And women, listen to the men. Don't interject your thoughts. Listen to the men. And if there are men that you're interested in, or you're in a current dating situation, moving to dating, or dating moving into a relationship, or relationship moving into a long-term commitment, understand what those are and have a conversation with your man, because I think that's important as we look to build and grow families together. Being able to communicate in the absence of emotion, that's going to lead to positive outcomes in the future.
That's good. It was a good conversation.
Yeah, that's a very good conversation. Yep, very good. So thank you so much for watching today's episode of House of Love. We're so happy to have you here. Consider becoming a house guest by liking and subscribing to our channel so that you can get more information and we can have these hot topics of conversation on a regular basis. We love to have you over here in this community of love.
Yeah, because we want everybody to have the tools to make love last, because in the end,
Love wins. Thank y'all.